What is happening, folks? Welcome to another episode, 9 Nerd Yards. This is the Ultimate Fighter Season 31 breakdown, and I'm interviewing the man, the myth, the legend himself from the house. Fresh off his win with Jason Knight, it's Kurt Holobaugh. Kurt, what's happening, baby?
What's going on, man? Hey, look, we ain't really missed the episode yet, so I'm in a car right now, heading home. We had a big fight party, and I didn't want to miss this one, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. How was the fight party, man?
It was crazy, man. Sometimes you don't realize, or I don't realize, maybe how many people I had to support me, and
Mhm.
I mean, for everybody that showed up, people that people showed up from everywhere, and
Yeah, it was dope.
It was good, man. We had a good time.
Nice, nice. Where'd they have it at?
We actually did it at the Beta Brewery Tap
Oh,
Room. So,
bro, that's your
yeah,
favorite beer, bro.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm working on hopefully getting a little sponsorship with them, man. Like, it
Yes,
really is my favorite beer. So hopefully it works out.
dude, that's dope. Look, how awesome! How awesome from the first episode, or maybe it's like first or second episode. I think it was the first one. You were drinking it, and
Yep.
now you live over there doing it, bro. That's awesome. That is awesome. Happy for you, man.
Thank you, man. I
Um,
appreciate it.
Also happy for this win, bro. Like again, it's so crazy. We're doing the whole thing. I have no idea, right? You're not out here, spoiling no secrets. So like we're riding through this whole thing together. You make it through your first fight, bro, and I was happy then. I was so happy to see you get this win. Uh and we could talk about again, it was just a lot of sportsmanship, but bro, you got the win. How how did you feel not just in the fight but like tonight seeing it live being around everybody?
Man, it reminds me of how hard that I work. And
Yeah.
just to be able to showcase how hard I work on a platform like that with somebody that I respect to the fullest, like Jason,
Hmm.
in a fight that our local fans have probably been wanting to see for 10, 11 years, and they finally got to
Right.
see it on the big screens.
Right.
So it was good, man.
Bro, that's incredible. Okay. Let's walk through kind of step by step from this because it was a build up from last week. They're like these two are fighting. We know they're fight. Actually, it's a build up from when they made all the fight announcements. So we'll start there. So you're fighting him. What was training like the few days before? How was that? Like, was it just sort of like you do your thing in the corner, I'm doing my thing in this corner over here? Don't look at me, I won't look at you type thing. How was that?
Man, it really wasn't much different than
Okay.
the first training session that we had together before we were gonna fight. We really didn't pay no mind to it. We may not have partnered up together and did like our normal partner drills, because normally when we start doing drills, Chandler, some of the coaches be like, all right, guys, grab a partner and let's start going. We may have not partnered up with each other, but as far as training, man, we still trained side by side and did everything like we normally would.
Okay. Nice. That's fascinating. That's good, man. That's good. I think there's still the camaraderie and the team morale was still there, even though y'all like, listen, this is how they paired us. This is what we got to do, man.
Yeah, for sure,
Uh,
man. Like we already knew, man. We
yeah.
was already we was already cool. I don't think I wouldn't consider us close before we got into the house.
Okay.
But me and Jason, we seen each other, normally on a regular. We seen each other, at all the local fights because a lot of my guys will fight in the local Mississippi promotion because they do a lot of promotions over there.
Okay.
And so we're there, probably once a month, every month. And a lot of times I'd run into Jason. And we were always cool, always respectful for each other. And then once we got into the house, and we're from not really the same area, but we're both from the South, right? We're both local from the South, and of course, I thought of it. Hey, man, well, I got somebody in the house that I know. This is gonna be cool. Me and Jason are cool, and really, our relationship got pretty tight in the house, I think. And and that's what I think made this fight so good, because I don't think neither one of us was scared of each other, right? So I think
Right.
you throw those nerves out the window, and then it's like, okay, man, we're just gonna go in here and we're just gonna fight, and may the best man win.
Right. Yeah, that's all it can be at that point. And I really love the little touch with the prayer. I was like, man, look at that. It just felt very authentic and wholesome. And as a Christian, like I feel like sometimes I don't see enough people praying, even though if like if you want to pray, go ahead and pray. Like do your thing, man.
Yeah,
It's
and
something you love to see.
right, and that was all Jason. That's Jason's thing, man. He's been through a lot in his past, so he's really a Christian guy now. So and you even see it, even though Landon, I don't think was going with it as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he fought Landon, but he grabbed Landon's hand and he said a prayer with Landon. Um, but I was more than happy to say the prayer with him. That's just
Of
Jason.
course. Of course. Yeah. It just, again, it just seems super authentic and super like, oh, that's something, it seems like something Jason, I don't even know Jason Knight like that, but it seems like something like Jason Knight would do. You know what I'm saying? And then came the moment of the show, which was, if that already didn't warm somebody's hearts, the scene where you call in the family, bro, and just an instantaneous breakdown. And it's crazy too because of how the dichotomy is of like, bro, I've known you for a while. It's always been you're a very straight shooter. You laugh, you like to laugh here and there, but overall you got very stoic vibe about you. You know what I mean? So to see just that emotional just like dump right there of feelings when you're calling your family, bro, how was that?
Man, it was awesome. And we've or me and some of the guys, we've heard that yeah, man, if you make it to the semifinals, they'll let you call home. But
Man.
nobody knows for sure, because nobody actually tells you anything. That's just something
Right.
they did on the previous seasons. And literally, that was me and Jason weighed in that day.
Mm-hmm.
And we that day after we got home after the weigh-ins, Jason comes running up the stairs like, bro, we get to make a phone call home. And I'm like, oh shit, we finally get to make that phone call. So if you think about it, yeah, I was a bit emotional, and all my kids were too. But at the same time, that was literally the last day we was in the house. So we had already been going for a month and a half, around 6 weeks. So
Right.
yeah, man, I finally got to talk to them, and that just reminded me a lot of what I was there fighting for.
Man, and what a time! I mean, I'm glad. What a time to do it right before you're fighting, right? To get that, and I'm sure it's very purposeful, right? But like to kind of get that little bit of fuel in the tank of like I'm already, man, I've been in this house so long. I've been around a bunch of guys, and it's just I love them to death, but also I love my family. You know what I mean?
Yep. No,
Yeah,
for sure, man. I wish every training camp could be like that, but maybe just have my phone, go to a house in Vegas and train with the best coaches, best equipment, live in a house, eat free food all day long, and then
right.
go fight. That's the dream. But that's what we actually got to do while we was there. So that's what
Right.
made that so great.
Yeah, it's sort of like I think we talked about it before. It's sort of like a fighter's retreat. All the distractions get removed, and it's just you and what you're here to do and what you're living for. You know what I mean? I'm here to fight. I'm here to, collect my money, and I'm here to be the best fighter that I can be at this point. You know what I mean? So, love it. I love it. All right, let's talk about this fight, man, because from the jump, it really looked like Jason was trying to keep you on the outside, right? A lot of jabs, a lot of the front kick to the oblique, and then as soon as I saw the first combo, bro, I was like, oh, that shot's money. It's the 1-2, that 1-2 down the pipe, bro. Money. The jab overhand, jab straight, like it was just money. And the beautiful thing was seeing you go in, go for what you needed to. Don't stay at the bank if you're robbing it, because you were in and you were out, bro. It looked so, you were not overzealous. You were not there to just be like, it's a firefight. Like it was very calculated. Was that Did you have a game plan? Was that the game plan? Did you sort of figure that out in the fight? How was that?
Well, me and Jason, we actually said, hey, let's go out. Let's have a badass fight. You don't shoot a takedown unless you're rocking about to be out. I won't shoot a takedown unless I'm rocking about to be out. So, other than that, let's just go out there, man, and put on a show. And I'm like, okay, so, that's a little bit less I have to worry about other things. And I knew he would stay true to the word, and I knew I would stay true to the word. So that's what we did. That's what allowed me to go in and out like that a lot. I didn't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, it was sort of, I guess, like a good little like safety measure to be like, okay, I can really just focus the game plan on doing this. Going in, get the combo I need, come out, don't try to take as much damage as I need to on the exit. And that's what it looked like completely throughout a lot of the fight. And I think probably everybody else was just surprised at how fast that game plan worked, because Jason got rocked, or he would stumble back, and I I'm watching it and I'm looking at the time, right? Because again, we talked about this, like the time is the indication of like, is this going to be a decision? Is this going to be 3 rounds, 2 rounds? What kind of fight is this going to be? And it was so close, because I was like, oh my God, is this going to be like a 1-round knockout? Is it going to be a 2-round knockout? Like, what is going to happen here? So walk me through as you're utilizing the 1-2. Did you feel just comfortable utilizing that, or were you using that until a point of where you're like, oh, I found this is money, this is the pattern, this is what I need to keep doing?
So, I felt like in my first fight with Lee, I rushed too much. I rushed too many things. I tried to, I was in all go mode and never took a second to step back. And so I thought to myself, because, normally I got one of my coaches that's always telling me, don't get in a hurry. And that's what one thing he's telling me whenever I start getting in a hurry. So, not having him there to bring me back down so I'm not just all go mode. I thought about that through training. And when I knew I was fighting again with Jason, I'm like, look, man, I got to slow it down a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to put the pressure on. I'm going to push forward, but I got to know when to pull back a little bit. And I kept telling myself that. So, as soon as we went out there, and I said, I'm just going to let him throw a little bit. Let me get his timing real quick. And once he did, once he felt like I got his timing and I landed the first couple punches, I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. It seemed that way. It seemed very much like getting inside of when he would, again, shoot a jab or shoot that oblique kick. You would just get inside of that real quick, or even just counter him right after. And it was beautiful. But you ate a few here and there, but it was mostly, again, I think, either on the entry or midway through a combo. But the rest of that looked phenomenal. There was an incident though where you cut your head. That was a headbutt though, right?
No, actually, that wasn't even my blood. I never cut any. I didn't have any marks on my face. Yeah. It looked like on the side of my head, but I don't think that was mine, because I never had nothing that had to be treated. I don't remember having any kind of scratch or anything, any kind of cut after that fight.
That's interesting. Okay, must have been like when y'all came together, kind of some blood sort of got smudged a little bit, And Jason didn't even see that bloody either. So mystery blood, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, oh no. Never know where it came from. Sometimes they could have got him hit the glove and then hit on my head. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can tell Jason was throwing, man, and he was throwing heat. He never would let me get comfortable and just tee off. And that's just the fighter Jason is, right? Anybody's ever watched Jason Knight fight, you're not just going to tee off on him without him trying to bang back. And he didn't once let me get comfortable in where I was. I was always having to be on my heels, moving forward, using footwork, making sure he wasn't cracking me because he was throwing.
Right. No. Yeah. And that was a lot of that in and out movement, right? Like it was 1-2, a 1-2-3, 1-2 interrupted, stepping back 1, and again, just sort of stalking him down as he was against the cage a lot of it. But at every point at no point did I ever think like he still wasn't in the fight. And I think that that's an accolade to the type of fighter that Jason Knight is. Like, everybody knows, dangerous all times, doesn't matter, no matter what. And again, that's the name of MMA, but like there are certain fighters where you're just like, at any point, like this could go the other way. Like Kurt's doing the right thing. Kurt's got to keep being careful. You know what I mean? So that really carried, I think, into round two. And as you talked about it just now, like at no point were you ever allowed to tee off. It wasn't until the end of the fight, really. And even then, it was sort of picking your shots. Beautiful, beautiful shot selection. And I think shot selection is a thing that's not often highlighted, right? Like people call it, like people use big broad terms like fighter IQ and stuff like that. And I think that there's a time there that is a thing, but also shot selection of knowing what shot to shoot, when to step back from it, when, you know, what to counter, what to throw, because to be able to do all that in the midst of it, hit him and like get that body shot, get the hook right in the ribs. Walk me through that like final that final sort of showdown right there.
Yeah, so right before that, man, you know, when we sit back down on the stool at the end of the first round, I'm like, geez, man, my hands are already hurting. And I'm like, I just hit him with everything that I had. So I'm thinking, well, I'm like, I don't feel tired. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to do that for 2 more rounds because he ain't going away. So
he ain't going down.
You know, I didn't think so, man. But once I thought I caught him with something right before that singles where I ran and I tried to hit him with like the flying knee. I knew hurt him. So I'm like, man, I think he's hurt. So that's why I kind of stayed on him a little more and didn't back out, because I felt like that was the time to finish. So I just felt like he was hurt. I felt like I could hit him with some good stuff and try to get the referee to stop it. I was trying to get him to cover up so the referee would come in and stop it. And then, you know, and I do this a lot in practice, man, but I just ripped him with a beautiful hook to the body. And, you know, liver. And it doesn't matter how tough you are or who you are, you get a shot in the liver,
you going down. Yeah, big facts. I've gotten kicked there too many times to be able to tell you, Bill, like, listen, your body just shuts down. Like it's that off button on your computer where you press it and it's you know what I mean? It's out, it's game over, bro. And yeah, I did feel, and I don't know if this was more incidental or like, so more on purpose, or more of it was just a matter of what happened. But I didn't see you trying to like move his hands and be like, I'm really trying to like fuck you up in the head or anything like that. Like you landed the elbows, but he was still like, you could still feel the impact of it, but he was still covering up. You know what I mean? Enough to where the referee could still come in, see that he's covering up, but he's not fighting back. Was that purposeful? Or did that just happen to you know, come out that way?
You know, I was just trying to get the referee to stop it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I had somebody actually point it out, and don't think that I wasn't trying to land those elbows, because I was trying to land the elbows. But I had another guy point out, and he was like, man, I felt like you wasn't really smashing him with the elbows like you should have been. And I'm like, man, look, he was covered. I was just trying to hit quick and fast so the referee jumps in.
Yeah. And I don't think should have been I think maybe could have been. And I think it was, whether it was just the way it happened or it was subconscious, like it was I saw it. I didn't think any less of you is what I'm saying, right? Like it was a very, if it was the way, I think people, it's one of those things you like when, remember the whole thing on a long time ago is like, what color is the dress? Is it blue and silver? Is it white and gold? Whatever. It's one of those things. People are going to see it how they see it. If that was the case, it was, you know, it was like, oh, that's okay. Like it's still sportsmanship, but it is still Kurt being like, I am trying to win this fight right now. Like at the end of the day, I'm still trying to win this fight. And if it was just the way that it played out and you're just like, that's just a target I saw, and I'm just trying to throw these elbows over here so I can get out of here. I know he's out. I know the ref is right here. Let's just call it a day, bro. Like there's nothing else we can do here. I just had to ask about that because I rewatched that fight twice now and tried to just like again I wanted to come in here and be like, listen, I'm gonna sound all the studious in front of Kurt and we're gonna break down this fight, you know. But you get your hand raised, man. At the end of the day, you're going in the finals. And so walk me through that feeling because it seemed like still it was that it's you being you, very humble, you know, sharing the limelight with Jason at the same time. Walk me through the mix of emotions, the emotional sort of roller coaster of everything you're feeling in that moment as soon as that happens.
Yeah. Well, really, like my main thing that I would wanted to do, right? If I was to make it to the finals, my main thing I want to do is be able to call my wife and say, I'm going to the finals. And I remember as soon as we got back to the house, right, we was leaving that night. We already had our bags packed. We were doing our final interviews for TUF, and they were taking us to the airport. After you got done with your interview, you was in the van, and you was going to the airport.
Wow.
Right? And literally, I was the very last guy to get an interview because I guess I was like the last fight of which I wasn't. There's Cody and there's Rico next.
Right.
But for some reason, I was like the very last. And I'm like, I got to wait till all of these guys. And you don't get your phone back until you go do the interview, finish your paperwork, and then they rank you and give you a phone back. So I actually used Rose's phone. I said, Rose, can I borrow your phone real quick, man? Call my wife. Like, I just want to, because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's like 3 o'clock at our time or my time.
Right.
So, because I knew they were up waiting. They knew I was fighting, but had no idea if I had won or lost. So, you know, my goal was to be able to call my wife and say, I did it. I'm going to the finals. So
we done it.
And that was the best feeling that I could have had.
Man, incredible. So that was literally the last day of shooting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They didn't even shoot no more. After we fought, cameras were gone. As soon as we came back home, bags were packed, interviews were being made, and
wow,
to the hotel and then the airport.
Wow, crazy, man. I don't think I've ever heard that. I'm sure that's the way it goes with all the seasons. It's so insightful to be like, oh, that's how they do it. Yep. See how the sausage is made, you know what I mean, behind the curtain. But that's crazy. So was she up? Were you able to be like, yo, we did it, you up?
They were up waiting. Because I think I had told them, yeah, look, after the fights tomorrow, we're getting our phones back. So I don't know the time, but I'm gonna, as soon as I get my phone back, I'm gonna call.
Wow, crazy, man. Well, you done it, Kurt. You made it to the final. When is have they announced when your fight is? When is your fight?
Next Saturday. UFC 292, Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling. So
they put you in
training camp the whole time.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I figured you were just like, hey, I've been in training, and I'm like, that boy's in training camp. Either he won or he lost, but he's still fighting. I figured you were still fighting. You just said training. You didn't even say training camp. You just said training, and I was just like, Kurt, and you didn't say nothing afterwards. So I had my suspicions, and I'm so happy for you, man. They have you. Do you know when you're fighting just yet, or they haven't given out like when you're fighting?
Well, I know we're on the ESPN portion of the prelims. I don't think we're going to be on the card or the pay-per-view card because the Ultimate Fighter was the ESPN thing. So right. They're going to do the your final fights on the ESPN, and I'm sure they'll award the Ultimate Fighter trophy and all that good stuff to the winner on ESPN.
Wow, incredible, Kurt. Okay, given that, are we going to have to postpone next week? I know you'll be probably either flying there or you'll be cutting weight. Is this you want to wait till the following week, or are you still good for next week to break down the finale?
I think it would be good to break down the very last fight. You know, we got one more fight. We got Rico and Cody Gibson. I
Okay.
should be already in Boston by the time the Ultimate Fighter plays, because we don't even know right now which one of those two are going to be in the finals.
Right.
So,
No.
you know, they'll be down there, right? The winner of that fight, of course, will be down there. But yeah, we can. I won't be doing nothing, man. I'll be down there just doing whatever. I'm sure I'll do a little workout sometime, probably before the Ultimate Fighter show, and then I'll be probably just chilling and hanging out.
All
So yeah,
right, man. We're gonna wrap it up next week. Kurt, again, thank you so much for coming on tonight, even after again the celebration on the show, the celebration in real life with all your friends, family, everybody probably some people who didn't even know like you were there or gonna be there and like expecting you to be there. I'm sure that was all exciting. So shout out for you coming on even after that celebration. And shout out to your family for lending you on the show for a couple minutes as y'all head home. Kurt, take over my show. Let people know where they could find you. Shout out any and everything. The world is your oyster. Do your thing, man.
yeah. First off, man, make sure everybody's following your podcast and interview, 9 Nerd Yards, man. And thanks for having me on, man. Thanks for everything.
Of course.
Follow me at Kurt the Hurt Holobaugh on Instagram. Follow me on my podcast YouTube channel, The Contenders and Pretenders. Thank you to my sponsors, Hatchet Industry, Covington Power Sports, and Cree Ultimata, and Let's Go Abita Brew Company, man. Let's get
Hey, come on, Abita. Come sponsor, brother, man. Let's go. Let's go. It's go time.
We're moving up in the world, man. We're moving bigger and better things.
It's one day, you drink it Purple Haze, the next day Purple Haze is sponsoring you. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, well, everybody go ahead and follow Kurt, follow his podcast, The Contenders Pretenders, follow him on social media. It's all at K Holobaugh. And be sure to watch the season finale of the Ultimate Fighter 31. And if you hadn't thought about it yet, feel free to watch UFC 295. Gonna be in Boston. And guess what? Kurt's gonna be on the undercard. And it's gonna be I would watch with bated breath. I'm gonna be like, bro, I need to watch this one. You versus Austin Hubbard, and I can't wait. I can't wait to even maybe break that down with you even after that. So Kurt, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody follow Kurt. Thank y'all for coming on and tuning in tonight. 9 Nerd Yards. Follow us all across YouTube. You can follow me, Money Blake Weather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. We appreciate everybody tuning in, whether it's live or you're watching on the replay, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is. We do appreciate you. And until the next time, we will see you. Peace.